Ambassador, thanks so much for your time. Welcome to CNBC.
Thank you so much.
First, explain to us, how have Pakistani nationals been impacted in the UAE as a result of the coronavirus?
Yes, as you are aware that due to this COVID-19, everywhere people were affected. And in UAE, Pakistanis were 1.6 million Pakistani are living here. So it's quite natural that when you have a ratio of, say, around 20% of the total population is, you can say, they are Pakistani. So the ratio must be there. So they were also having an impact on because of the corona. And but the most important element for us was that because of this COVID-19, there were many companies who were just off the work, and they decided to send their employees either to lay off or to send them on paid or unpaid leave. So that was a big challenge for us. And as you are aware that immediately after closure of airspace by Pakistani side as well as from UAE, we decided to register our people here in the embassy as well as in the consulate in Dubai. And when the government decided to start evacuation flights, we organized and we coordinated with airlines and we sent them back to Pakistan. So today I'm glad to inform you that so far we have sent over 70,000 people who were here on short visa, and there were some others who were laid off, paid, unpaid leave. So these were in four category people. So we have sent them back to Pakistan, and now today evacuation process has by and large completed, and now normal flights have started operating between the two countries.
Ambassador, you mentioned there's been 70,000 repatriations so far. How many more do you expect to move from the UAE back home to Pakistan?
At the moment, what we foresee that now since the economy has opened up in UAE, and those who wanted to go back, they have gone. And now since the economy is open, the markets are open. So those who are now having jobs, they have decided to stay back. They will not be going. But I don't see any list of people who are really keen to go. But if they are going on their own because the flights are open and they can have booking directly. They are not going through the embassy or the consulate for getting the tickets, etc. So I believe that most of our people who wanted to go back, they have gone. And now it's a routine visits by our people who used to go to Pakistan for holidays or for family commitments. So I think they are going back.
Ambassador, when you look at the impact of the virus here in the UAE, unfortunately, many of the virus hotspots were in migrant worker camps where many Pakistani nationals live and work in close quarters. What specifically did your embassy do to ensure they had the medical supplies and equipment they needed to keep them safe during this time?
Right from the beginning, we had very close cooperation, very close coordination with the UAE authorities. And the UAE authorities, in fact, opened some facilities in like Mustafa area, which is concentrated for the industrial workers and other workers. So they started this facility every day. They had a facility of testing people up to 10,000, and that was a great facility. So we were in touch with the local authorities, and these tests were provided free of cost. So I'm glad that those who are interested to have their COVID test, they were able to do it. So the Foreign Ministry of UAE coordinated with the embassy, as well as the embassy also coordinated with the health authorities. So whoever wanted to have these tests, we did provide them the basic information, and we guided them how to do it and where to do it. So that is one-sided to one thing. And secondly, those who required medical facilities, our embassy and the consulate in Dubai, as well as we have a Pakistan Association in Dubai, which is also having a chapter of Pakistani doctors. So they were also providing free of cost medical facilities to those who are really in need and those who are not able to afford it. So the community also helped it, and our consulate, as well as some of our community members who are really having good finances, resources, and they were also helping these people. So I'm glad that we do not have any crisis on account of medical treatment or medical supplies to our people here.
And what a lot of our international audience might not know is that Pakistani workers here are, of course, critical to the UAE economy. As you pointed out before, they make up about 20% of the total population here, and they're the backbone of many industries on the ground as well. How specifically have you been advocating for their safety and for their rights as workers throughout this process?
We have a very close coordination with the UAE Ministry of HR and Emiratization, and we do coordinate with them. The main employers, the big companies who are here, they have a big number of Pakistani working there. So our community welfare attaché in the embassy, as well as we have a community welfare wing in the consulate in Dubai. They keep very close coordination with these companies. They are in touch with them. They frequently visit these labor camps, and we try to ensure that our people are treated well. And so far, we are not having any difficulty, are not having any problem with them. So the employer and the embassy is very closely cooperating. We are helping each other.
Ambassador, none of us have ever experienced anything like this before. What would you say is the number one lesson that you have learned throughout this process? And would you like to see the UAE government perhaps doing more to ensure that foreign domestic workers are protected if we were to ever see an event like this again in the future?
Yes, I would like to say that the UAE government has conducted it very well. They, right from the beginning, they try to provide all the facilities to the people in UAE. And I think you must be aware that the UAE, one of the few countries which has a very high number of testing facilities available. They had already tested over 2 million people, and if you look at the total population, so I think they have done very well as compared to other countries. Likewise, still they are going on. So they, right from the beginning, they provided free of cost the PCR testing facilities to the people. So they made sure that people are having access to these facilities. So I'm very glad to point out that the UAE government has done very well, and they also shared their experience with other countries, including Pakistan. So Pakistan has also learned from them. So our health authorities were also coordinating with each other. So we are also having experience, having benefit of their experience. So they did very well. And at the same time, whenever the lockdown was required, they did have a lockdown. And at the same time now, when they have opened, so they have opened up after completing the SOPs, and they are having enforcement mechanism is there. So whatever the mechanism they introduce, so it's being implemented by the people. So overall, I'm very happy that the way UAE government has coordinated with all the countries, including Pakistan, and the way they have handled the expat community here. So they looked after them well, like they looked after their own people.
I'd like to ask you about the economic impact of this as well. In your experience, sir, what's the knock-on effect in Pakistan when we have a downturn in the UAE economy as we're experiencing now?
Yes, as you're aware that since we have 1.6 million Pakistani living in the UAE, and as a result of this pandemic, many companies, they have closed down their shops, and obviously, so we are also having, say, roughly 40-50,000 people who had been laid off, and they have gone back to Pakistan. Since we were having $4.5 billion remittances from UAE every year, and I foresee that from the last quarter of from the last quarter, as well as from the first quarter of next financial year, which is starting from 1st July, we foresee that the remittances will go down. How long, how much, may not be, easy to say, to give you any figure that how much it will be. But I foresee that maybe around, say, 5 to 10% downward remittances will be affected.
So around a 10% fall in remittances, that's quite a significant decline given the higher levels that we've come off. Would you ever expect to see a rebound in that figure moving forward, or is this the new normal?
We do hope that when now the economy has opened, some the new opportunities will come up, and our people who have gone back, they are experienced, they are very well trained, they are having good you see working ethics also here, so they will have an opportunity to come back, and I do hope that not only that those who have gone back to Pakistan, they will have an opportunity to be here, but some other businesses may be you see started because of the new technologies and new things, and as you know that everything has some positive impact also, so we may have some new openings, and we do hope that since Pakistan is also you see rich in high HR, we have very well trained IT people. We have likewise in other professions as well. We have doctors, we see engineers in Pakistan. So I do hope that whatever the loss we have, we will cover up, and our people will again be coming back to UAE, and we will have this make up of this loss which we have at the moment.